everyone, to the Traveling Pilates Teacher Podcast. I'm Christy Klein, and with me today, I have a very special guest, Lubna, or as I like to call her, Lou, taking the podcast in yet another direction with Pilates and talking with Lou, who is a Pilates student here in Morocco. Lou was the very first student I met on my very first day in Morocco. I was taking a class with Rena, who was the teacher that was previous before me, and then also I did a podcast with Rena, so you'll know who Rena is. She was teaching before me in Morocco, and Lou walked into class. She plopped down on the reformer next to me, and the rest is history. We made a good connection that day, and we continued to hit it off. So welcome, Lou.
Hello, Christy. Great to be with you today.
Yes, thank you for coming. Before we dive into our topic of being a Pilates student in Morocco, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yes, so my name is Lubna. I'm based in Rabat, Morocco. I am an international development practitioner, and I work mainly in the Maghreb, the Sahel, and the Western African region, in focusing in violent extremism prevention, social cohesion building, and peace building. I'm also an animal rescue and a cat mom, as Christy likes to call me. And I also should mention that I am a feminist and a women's rights activist.
Yes. So Lou and I always talk about corporate relations. We always talk about the cats. In Morocco, for those of you that don't know, Morocco is very cat friendly. I feel like the United States is a little bit more on the dog side, but Morocco is definitely cat heavy. And I have a fear of large dogs, but I have no fear of cats, which is very, very nice. So, all right, Lou, let's talk about Pilates now. What initially drew you to start practicing Pilates?
Yes, so I was actually practicing a lot of sports when I was little, but more so for tennis. I was a pretty good tennis player, I would say.
Yeah.
I actually studied it to the States with a scholarship, but I had to pick between studying and playing tennis at some point, so and I picked studying.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had, with life going on and work and family responsibilities and all that stuff, I had fallen back in practicing any kind of sports. And then my brother had a baby girl who's just the love of my life, an apple of my eyes.
Yeah.
And so one day I was walking down the stairs carrying her in my arms, and I wouldn't trust my ankles or my knees or my feet to keep us both safe.
Yeah.
And so I decided to look into ways to get back on track with everything that has to do with exercise or whatever. So I was looking around, and then a friend of mine told me about Pilates. So scrolling down my timeline on Instagram and just checking out stuff. And then there it goes. I saw something about Pilates. I looked at it and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to sign up for this. And I did try at the Reformer Pilates here. Mm-hmm. And like I say, it's you can either consider it a cult or a drug or something like that. But that was it.
Yeah.
So I was hooked.
You were hooked.
And I haven't stopped since.
Good. So how long ago was that? How long have you been practicing Pilates?
It's been 2 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Great. So you've been in the cult for about 2 years.
Exactly.
Yes.
I had an escape time. Let's say that. But no, I was actually just taking care of my sick father.
Yes.
For a little while. So I had a break there for like 5 months, I think.
Okay.
But then I picked it up.
Good.
Right.
Good. And we say cult loosely because it really,
yeah, of course.
I mean, it's just one of those things. As soon as you get there, it just reels you in. And so.
And you speak about it all the time. And you talk about it all the time. And whenever something is hurting, somebody's complaining about a headache, you're like, you should try Pilates. It has nothing to do with it.
Exactly. Yeah. And Lou sends me Pilates memes all the time. Yeah, so it's actually kind of funny, lighten the load there, or lighten the mood, I should say. So how often do you attend classes at Reform Pilates?
Yeah, so I started with once a week for a long time, just because, I was not sure, first of all, that I would be able to attend more classes.
Yes.
Everybody remembers those that soreness from the first time. Mm-hmm. So I had
Yeah.
So I kept that pace for a couple of months until I got used to everything. And then, of course, I understand also how the reformer works and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I moved on to twice a week. And then now I'm at 3 times a week, and I'm trying to keep that up.
Yeah.
For the longest time.
And you do a good job keeping it up.
But I wish someday I will buy a lottery and just can do it every day.
Yes, I know it. And then you do kind of feel like, oh, this feels so good. And I think too, if you look at it, once a week really is just an introduction. You're not really going to attain those goals with that once a week. Set 2 times a week, you probably maintain. I think you start to really see the difference in your body, not necessarily in like weight loss, because I know a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to get in Pilates, I'm going to lose all this weight. But that's not really the goal. But you start to see the strength after 3 times. And I know we're going to talk about your milestones, so I don't want to get too much into it. But, on that topic, share with me any achievements that you've seen through Pilates, because I believe you've got a good success story.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, definitely. Like you were talking about how people that want to lose weight, it's not necessarily one of the goals of Pilates, right? But that transition from twice a week to 3 times a week. During that period, I also worked a lot on my diet. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, thanks to Pilates, I've lost approximately 9 kilograms, which is, I don't know how to convert.
I don't either. I don't either.
But 9 kilograms, and you guys go look for how much is that in pounds.
Yes. To clarify, in Morocco, it is funny because, in the United States, we're always like, oh, I got to lose some pounds. I got to lose some weight. But you come here and it's like, you got to lose the kilos. And I'm always like, the kilos? And then it finally clicked. And I don't remember, but I believe, I could be wrong. I believe 3 kilos is 1 pound. I believe, but I could be wrong. So don't quote anybody, but that's, either way, 9 kilos, might be 27 pounds, which is almost 30 pounds, which is huge.
It is huge. And I can see it in my body, and I feel way more secure in my own body. And I don't, right now, I don't like hesitate to jump things or like to walk down the stairs with my knees in my hands.
Yeah.
So the kilos are great to lose, but really it is that confidence that you get in your own body. And that reminds me a little bit of how you close your classes every day when you remind us to thank our bodies for doing everything that we ask them to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I believe my body can do until I got to Pilates, and then it's, you're not bad. You're okay. Yeah. I mean, you're not far gone.
Yeah, no, you're not far gone at all. Yeah. Well, good. I think I'm glad that Pilates was able to give you that self-confidence and not self-confidence so much in the, oh, this is how I appear, I look better in clothes, but just that confidence to hold your niece walking down the stairs or carrying that heavy box walking down the stairs. Because I think you and I have talked, about other things as well. And your building that you live in doesn't have an elevator. So you got to bring things up and down those stairs.
Exactly.
And so just to have that confidence, like, I'm not going to fall or I'm not going to drop this.
Yeah. And that's a great indicator, because I used to stop at the 2nd floor to rest.
Oh, uh-huh.
Right now I go all the way up with no problem at all. And I'm not even like very tired at the end. So I'm
nice.
Like, like you start noticing as you go, you start noticing changes in your own, life and habits and things like that. But again, like you said, like you mentioned, you can lose weight with Pilates, but there's other stuff to do as well on the side.
Yes, of course. I mean, diet is a huge part of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that Pilates workout definitely will, I think, shape your body.
Exactly.
I don't know if it's necessarily going to make you lose weight on the scale, but it's going to shape the body.
And strengthen.
Yes, absolutely strengthen it. Well, good. Well, I'm glad that you have that successful story, because it is a great success. But as we talk about success, let's talk about any challenges that you've faced with Pilates. Like, did you have any setbacks, or when you first started Pilates, what was a big challenge for you?
Well, you know about that challenge. It's just like, it's time.
Just do something.
No. And it's just time management really. But it's just because of my current life, how it's going, and I have to deal with some personal stuff.
Yeah.
So my challenge was just coming in on time to classes. I know Christy's laughing. She's one of the greatest instructors because she doesn't get that mad.
No, I don't get mad at all. Let's just rephrase that.
A little annoyed sometimes.
No, not at all. So for our viewers to know, so it's not an inside joke, teaching in the States is very different than teaching in Morocco. In the States, class starts at 11, and if you're 5 minutes late, you're not admitted to the studio. And that's just the policy, but it's not, the instructors really, it's the front door. So the front desk worker is the gatekeeper.
It's a management thing.
Yes.
And it makes sense.
Yes, yeah, no. And then that's just how the States are. And so Morocco is it's a different culture. It's just different. And people come late. And as an instructor coming from the States, I just had to realize that they come late. And so Lou, sometimes she comes late and sometimes she's right on time. And I love her either way. And she just jumps right in. She's one of those more advanced students that knows when she comes into the studio, she has to warm her body up a little bit. She knows how to do it. And I just let her do it. And then when she's ready to join the routine, she joins the rest of the class. So that's what we're talking about. But she is kind of funny. And that challenge of time management, there's always something, like whether it's I got to get to this meeting or, I got to go to the grocery store, whatever that is like, should I go to Pilates or do this? It's always choose you. And that's where it's hard because it's so easy to not choose you.
Exactly.
And get ahead of ourselves. Sorry.
Exactly. No, exactly. And that's one other thing that Pilates is helping with is it's that my moment, and and I will never compromise it or like sacrifice it for anything else. So right now,
yes,
even if I'm late, I'm going. That's kind of how it is.
And I think that's great because it's good, even if you're a few minutes late. And you do work, so I do realize too, and I think a lot of instructors realize that have been in that corporate world, like. Meetings, they could be from 3 to 4, but sometimes they last from 3 to 4:10, and it is what it is. And
exactly.
So we're just happy you show up. So we're good for that. So now that I would say you are more of an advanced student versus a beginning student, any tips that you have for those beginners that might be struggling with those initial stages of Pilates?
Well, to just be patient with yourselves and your body.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're gonna get there. It's not something that it's something you learn, right? Everything else, like at first I was very clumsy as well. And I was, the loops falling and the reformer making so much noise and I was embarrassed in front of everyone, but that doesn't really matter. Just believe in yourself and your body.
Yes.
Keep going, try, also try to sometimes look at your form in the mirror at first to help and listen to your instructor.
Yes.
I think Chrissy was like smiling at me right now and just waiting on that one, I guess. But yes, listen to your instructor because they're giving you excellent tips. And I remember at first when I started, I would not I would hear, but not necessarily like integrate all the information that you were that the instructors were giving us in terms of how to correct my form. But then once I did, I saw that I was able to do whatever, flow or movement or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's it. Believe in yourself, believe in your structure, and believe in your own body.
Oh, that's great advice. I love that. I do love that. And I'm going to circle back to the listening part because I feel like a lot of Pilates, like a lot of other things, it is really about being a good listener, which being a good listener is so hard for people. We hear you, but we don't necessarily listen. And we do as instructors not only tell you where to move your body, but also what not to move in your body. And I think that's what's hard for people because I feel like they first listen to that first step, like move your right arm, over to the right, but they don't remember or listen to now make sure your lower body doesn't move.
Exactly.
And so that's where it gets a little tricky. But yes, but I'm glad you brought that up.
And that prevents a lot of like injuries and things like that. Because I remember I would try to do some movement or something, and then I would have my ankle hurt or my wrist hurt, and I'll be like, but why is it that way? And then I listen better to whatever you say, and then figure out, like, well, yeah, now it doesn't hurt because you're doing it right?
Yeah. No, yeah. So listening's a big part of it, but it's not, I would say that it's probably 90% of people's problems, not necessarily just yours. You're not an anomaly. Definitely, it's a big part of it. So, well, good. So, what do you value most about, when I say Pilates community? There's a community at the studio that in Reform Pilates in Rabat here. What do you value most about that community?
I think I like the fact that we encourage each other very much. Like every single time we're like, oh, wow, you look good. Oh, it shows. And everybody's like complimenting you.
Yes.
And like, I'm a lot about sorority, right? I'm a feminist and the sisterhood and all that stuff. So it's someone always has something nice to say to you when you enter that studio. And I think that's what I value, the sisterhood. For now. Okay, we don't have a lot of men in this studio.
Yeah, no, most studios don't. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Okay, we'll let them. I'm just kidding. I'm a little radical, but yeah. So yeah, but yeah, it's that whole sisterhood, and that's people just from different backgrounds. You probably don't know much about them, but all we know is that we're coming there to better ourselves, better our bodies, but physically, but also have that moment for ourselves and it's a bunch of women putting themselves first for an hour.
Yes,
and that's great.
Yes, and I will say too that I've noticed in Morocco and Rabat. Now I can only say the one studio because that's where I've only worked at. In the one studio in Morocco, it's about, there's no competition with each other. And there's no watch your neighbor and see if you can outdo your neighbor. It's very like, let's build each other up. And I teach in English. Some of the women, their English is not their first language. I would say 90% of them is not their first language. French is their first language. I can speak about 10% of French, maybe 10%.
You're getting better.
I'm getting there, yes. But so if they're not understanding me, somebody next to them is always helping them, trying to figure that out, which I find just so, I don't know what the right word is, but comforting, I guess, you do see that camaraderie building and that community building based on, having a different instructor there, that French isn't their first language.
That's actually one of the things that also, kept me going to Pilates as well. That lack of competition, that we were not there to be better than one another, but it was just like a lot of people. Because sometimes you're going to meet the persons that you work out with for a long time there. But sometimes you get there and you don't know the people that you're working out with.
Yeah.
But I like that too. I like that everybody's there focusing on themselves.
Yes.
Not anybody else around.
Right.
And that's about it. Yeah. That's, like I said, it's a bunch of women getting together, but putting themselves first.
Right. Yes.
And focusing on themselves.
Yes.
So that's great.
Yeah, no, it is. I do love that about the studio, that people are just that nice camaraderie with each other. So that's wonderful. Well, good. So, what do you think and we talked a little bit about it, the role of the instructor. How important do you feel the role of the instructor has been in your experience?
It's actually, I've had the best experiences with the instructors, because right now I'm at my third, I think.
Yes, I think I'm the third one. Yes.
So I started with women. That was perfect for the beginning of it, because she's very soft and very soft-spoken.
And she's so sweet.
And she's so sweet.
Sweeter than beyond sweet.
Exactly. She's very sweet and very soft too, and very careful and be careful and all that. And that's what I needed, because she was really reassuring.
Yes.
That was perfect for the beginning.
And then you brought in.
Then I got Hurricane Rena. No, I'm just kidding. Yes. She's amazing, but she's just like, yes, go, push, whatever. And that put me in that mood of, you have to surpass yourself, right? You need to push yourself and all that stuff. And then I got you, Christy, who is just like the tranquil force. You know what I mean? It's just like, hi, we're this is going to be very nice, and it's going to be very playful and very funny. But at the same time, you push us also to to better ourselves, right? Yeah. Better our form, better the way we breathe.
Yes.
That's something that you think about a lot.
Yeah.
But I also love the fact that you also touch to the mental side of things, and like with your tips and your advice, and I just love everything. I just love everything that you do during these classes. That's why I keep coming.
Well, good. Yes, good. Well, thank you. I think all three of us that you've had have very different personalities, but I feel like they all work, and it's worked. And Rim's done a really good job about replacing her for that temporary period while she's been out on maternity leave. So good. Well, I'm glad.
But it's different styles, and I think it's a great thing that we had that rotation, because we can focus on different things all the time. Like, I guess some instructors will pay more attention to form, others to breathing, but like doing, like having the opportunity to learn under different instructors is also very fun.
Yes, it is. And really, I think Morocco is so different, because in the States, and I hate to always be comparing everything to the States, but that's what I know. And so I don't know any other different. Yeah. But, in the States, a lot of the studios have different teachers that come in and they rotate. So you can choose between, I don't know how many, I'm just making a number up, but say 10 different instructors. Obviously, not all 10 are teaching at that one time, but if you want to come on Tuesday, you may have an instructor on Tuesday, but on Wednesday, it's a different instructor. Where here, it's one instructor. So if you like my teaching style and it works for you, perfect. But if it doesn't, then it doesn't work. And I'm not going to be everything for everybody. So it is what it is. So, well, good. All right. So let's just switch a little bit here now, that just to the fact that many students, Pilates students, I should say, have a favorite pose, or maybe you have a favorite accessory to use. I like to call them toys, because I feel like it's a nicer term, especially when we use the magic circle. What do you have any favorite moves or any favorite accessories that we use in class?
Yeah, I like that you call them toys, because that's like gaslighting us, and it's just like, it's torture toys. Yes.
some the magic circle is, I think that's why they call it the magic circle, because it's a nice way to say,
to gaslight us.
I've heard it called like ring of death, ring of fire, so yes. Yeah. But anyways, okay, so talk about one of your favorite poses.
Oh, I love planking. Planking is my favorite exercise, my favorite pose. Any type of planking. That's just, I love doing it. And I feel like, honestly, it feels easy just because you don't have to do a lot of movement or whatever, but at the same time it's working. So sometimes, and this is funny, that's why I'm telling you, it's somewhat of a cult. I work very late at night, and I have to do my planking before going to bed. Otherwise, I don't feel well. So it might be at 2:00 in the morning. Yeah. And you'll see me in my room. Yes. Like right before going to bed, but doing my 1 minute or 2 minute plankings and then going to bed.
Oh, that's great. Good for you.
Because I feel like, you're working out and it's not very hard. It's not, for some people it might be hard, but it's just like, it's not, it's not a complex movement. Right. Like you don't have to watch out where there's a few things that you need to make sure are there, like, place your hands below your shoulders and all that stuff. But there's not much that you have to coordinate as in on a reformer or anything else. So yes. So that's what I like about it. Yes. It's simple. Yeah. And efficient.
Yes, I agree with you. And it's not like you have to pop in the YouTube channel or, and watch something. You can just, so good. How about a favorite accessory? Do you have one, or one that you particularly don't care for?
Well, it's a love and hate relationship with all of these accessories. Like, it's good for you, but you hate it. Yes. At the moment, but then you feel right.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the circle is one major. No, but I love all these things. Like, I think I was introduced to them, and they're new ones. The booty band is also one of those torture toys that you use a lot. Yes, and that is. But that inspires, because I bought one and I have one at home, so I can do some squatting as well and things like that.
At 2 a.m.
Yeah. Yes. See? Like a crazy lady.
No,
crazy cat lady too.
No.
But yeah, so yeah, no, I don't think I have one that I really hate.
Okay, well that's good because I don't know about all of the instructors, but I like to use the accessories just because I feel like it gives us just a little bit more depth to our routine, and it's not so just lay down and we're gonna just use the reformer. I like to add on a bunch of other little toys.
I mean, I'm convinced about the importance of those things. So it's just that like you don't always love everything that's good for you, and that's exactly what it is.
Yes, I know. I can see when I say, "Okay, ladies, before you lay down, we're going to grab this, this, and this," and sometimes I just get the. So, but you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You're going to love it. All right. So how do you stay motivated to actually come to Pilates the 3 times a week? How do you keep that motivation going?
It's in the effects. I mean, it's in the impact. Once you remember how you feel after a Pilates class, then you don't need much more motivation than that. It's just like it's an invitation to feel better. So it's like so that continuing and getting it, and it's starting to show a little bit on my body. I have the abs out a little bit. So but really it's just that it's that one moment for myself 3 times a week where work, family, anything else, cats. Even cats cannot reach me. Right. And that's just for me. And that's what motivates me. It's like, you got to go there. You got to have a great session. You're going to suffer during the session. But then right after that, just remember how good you feel about yourself, how proud you feel about yourself. Yes. And so that's why I keep on going back.
Yes. Can we talk about your pictures? Your pictures. When you, Lou stays after, she always takes my last class of the day before I go home, and she stays and she takes pictures of herself. And tell everybody why and how and all that. How did that happen? How did that start?
I started because I was my boyfriend used to send me some gym pictures just to just to make me a little bit to motivate
you, I guess,
and motivate me and everything. And I'm like, ooh, you're hot. But, so first it was that, but then I started taking the pictures to document my progress and just to see the changes in my body. Yes. And they were visible with each session that I attended. Yeah. I would look at and then I would re-examine them in my bed before going to bed. Yeah. And just look at what changed and what I need to focus on maybe, or something that I would like to focus on in terms of exercising. Sometimes it's the arms, sometimes it's the abs, and that's how I determine where I'm going also. Yeah, I love that. I do love that. She always asks if I mind, and I never ever mind if you take a picture. So let's talk back about those specific goals or aspirations that you have. I know the initial goal was probably to be able to lift the knees with confidence. Have they changed those goals, or is it still that same goal? No, now it's more. Now I want to. So and this is something that I've discussed with some friends, etc. Looking at the beauty standards and all that stuff, and looking at how, we're always told this is how we should look or whatever. I've abandoned this idea thanks to Pilates. Not that I look bad, but I'm just saying. Right. I've just abandoned that idea of trying to keep up with those standards, basically, and reach those standards. Yeah. And right now, my aspiration is, instead of making my body, and I'm quoting this, beautiful, because I think my body is beautiful, but not up to some of the standards. No. I think that's. I want to make false. Yeah. I want to make my body strong, and I want it to be as strong as possible. So not so long ago, my father had a stroke, and I'm his primary caretaker, and I've been taking care of him, whatever. And my dad has been working out his whole entire life, at least 2 hours a day. So he's a very good sportsman, right? Yes. And I've seen how that helped him. Yes. In recovering. Yes. And a lot of chiropractors told me about that as well. And some therapists, physical therapists that goes to see him. Yeah. He's like, our issue when that happens is with sedentary people that have not worked on their muscles, because then it's just 6 months sitting down.
Yes.
It
So
just
quick.
like melts.
Yes.
And then even if you have, and then when you have the will to get up,
Yes.
you don't have the muscles that help you get it up.
Right.
And so that too just convinced me that my goal is to make my body as strong as possible.
I love that. Yes, I love that. And I love the fact that you've dismissed all of society's, I don't know what the right word is, but a body that is beautiful has to be, very, very thin.
Exactly.
And, and I think too, it comes with age and maturity. I guess more maturity than age, because I feel like, our 20-something selves probably thought that we needed to be this very, very thin and perfect body. And I just think our more mature selves feel like, let's get rid of the perfect body standard and let's think about strengthening that core and strengthening that body. Because we are going to get older. We are going to be in that, God willing, we're going to get older. And we're, if we do have any injuries or if we do have, a stroke or a heart attack, hopefully being that strong body will help us.
You can count on your body then.
Yes,
that's one thing.
Yes.
But you're totally right in saying that the perceptions have changed. One thing that I've noticed, for example, is that when I was younger, I would look at maybe like bodybuilders' bodies and find them, oh no, that's not really attractive or whatever.
Yeah.
But right now, when I look at a woman's strong body like that, I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. Just because I know of all the work that went on in there and how strong she must be. Maybe it's not meeting those standards that we look at on TV for models and all that stuff. Or like, I know now they call them Instagram influencers, Instagram, like Pilates influencers and all that stuff. And they're not all. I'm very short, so I will never have that that silhouette that is very long and
yes. Well, you and me both were the same height, so yes.
But like right now, when I look at a strong female body, I appreciate all the work that went on there, and I find it beautiful.
Yes, no, yes, because we know what went back in to get that. So, are you doing anything else besides Pilates? Are you exercising anything else? Doing anything else?
So I'm exercising at home a little bit, just on the days that I don't have time to go to class, and when I have a lot of work. So I bought a little mat, a booty band, a ball, and things like that. But I also had started. I'm slowly introducing some cardio in my in my routine in my program. So I'm slowly trying to add some cardio in there, just to take care of my heart, but also because I do want to lose a little bit more weight. I know it's a lot, but I had gained a lot of weight and I'm short, so it shows.
Yeah, I understand because I'm the same height. You gain the kilo and all of a sudden it's like, geez, but if you're 5'10", you gain the kilo, no one sees it.
Exactly. That's the thing. So it shows. So I'm playing a little bit of paddle with a friend. Right now we're like in a break because she's very busy with work. But that's what I try to do, introducing that. And I am planning on to going back to tennis after, I think 20 years.
Oh, wow.
that I stopped.
Yeah.
I really want to go back to it because I miss it.
Yeah, I understand. Well, I love playing pickleball in the States. I think paddle is just starting to be introduced to the States. I don't know what the differences are. I mean, that's another conversation, but compare Pilates to what you're doing it, I guess, in the sense, like, when I say compare, we don't really do a lot of cardio in Pilates. We do a little bit with jumping.
Yes, and that's why I love jumping.
Yes. Some people love it, some people don't care for it. And the ones that don't care for it, they have maybe knee issues or back issues, but there's just not a lot of cardio in Pilates per se. Is there any other comparisons that you can think of with either paddle or with the workout you're doing at home to Pilates?
I think Pilates makes me feel a little bit more grounded in the sense that, you're looking at your breathing, and coordination and all that stuff. Like paddle and tennis are kind of like fun stuff to do, but you don't feel like
you're working out.
You're working out or you're focusing. Like you're tired, that's for sure. And like it takes you an effort and you're like, you're short-breathed because you've just run or whatever, but it's not, and your heart rate is raising and you can feel it or whatever, but it's not necessarily like Pilates where you actually feel it in the muscles.
Yes.
And you feel those deep muscles even that you didn't know existed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I like about Pilates as well, is like I'm pretty I have a pretty scientific mind.
Yes.
And it's just like, I need proofs.
Yes.
You know, like I need that.
Yes. Yes.
And so with tennis, it's fun. You're running and everything, but then you don't have those sore muscles at night.
Yes.
And then,
yes.
so,
yeah, I get it. I get it.
I like those sore muscles.
Yes, I understand. Well, and I think they do complement each other too well.
Definitely.
So yeah, just keep doing it. You know, anyone can do more than just Pilates. I think you do need to have a healthy, well-rounded routine to add things besides just Pilates. I think that makes about the better balance of that body.
Honestly, what I would, for example, if I had to give an advice, is to start with Pilates and figure out, take your time to figure out what other stuff you need to put in there. Because if you just like, I mean, some people just would be like very hard on themselves and be like, I want to do this and this. I see my boyfriend is like that, and I try to slow him down a little bit because he's very hard on himself. If he doesn't work out, he's depressed the whole day.
Oh,
like,
geez.
he's just like,
yes.
And I'm like, no. But yeah, find your routine.
Mm-hmm.
Start with Pilates. See what would work out with your schedule and with your Pilates routine, whether it is tennis or it is swimming or it is anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you that Pilates is the foundation because it's that core work, that breathing work, coordination, flexibility, and all that stuff that will enable you to do everything else.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you just said Pilates is your foundation. So
yeah.
That's a good one. I like that. Well, thank you for all of your insight and the time that you took to share your perspectives on Pilates. Is there anything that you would like to add before we do end our time today?
Yeah, maybe just express that I'm very, very grateful to you.
Oh, you're sweet.
For all the good that you bring us.
Oh, you're sweet.
In every session. I just want to tell everyone to start somewhere.
Yes.
Start with Pilates somewhere, whether it is at home watching a video on a mat or things like that. And then try to go to a studio once and see how it goes. And if it, and once you found your little secret heaven, you're not gonna let go of it.
Yes, exactly.
That's what it is. Once you find your way and your equilibrium, and you'll love it. Really, it's really good for your health, for your mental health, for your physical health, for your social health as well. Because that's in my case, taking care of my father, taking care of the animals, taking care of a lot of people around me. But Pilates also gives me that opportunity to stop and just pause and think about myself. Yeah. And not afraid to be a little selfish.
Yes, exactly. And you socialize, which is good.
Exactly.
There too. Yeah. So good. Well, thank you. I love that advice. So thank you so much for that. Well, thank you again, Lou. And thank you all for listening to our first season of The Traveling Pilates Teacher. Stay tuned soon for season 2. Thanks, everyone. And bye for now.